All right, enough about me. Let's keep this moving along. We've got some fantastic presenters. This next gentleman, oh my gosh, he's performed here before. And we said, you did such a great job. You got to come back. That's what we said. And he's like, no. I was like, so I applied him with a sandwich. And it worked. So put your hands together. He's a laboratory database manager, Mr. Dan Wutland. Dan, get on up here.
At this time of the show, I think it's important that we issue some corrections to some of the previous jokes. Jacob said that music is like sex. Just because it doesn't go well, you're not going to stop doing it. But as Graham Lau had just said, barnacles' dicks fall off. And Jesse said that Mike Pence can suck a bag of dicks. But as anyone who's spent time on the dark web will tell you, dicks come in jars. So I used to be a grad student in physics, but I realized I was just getting better at something I hate, right? And if you tell people that you do physics, usually they tell you, oh, I was really bad at that and I hated it. And I tell them that I'm kind of the same, but on a higher level. Like in my, I had a TA, and my students, like, they would just assume the continuity relation when they were trying to prove conservation of charge. I know, right? And they like, learn some vector calculus, you fucking morons. So I dropped out, and I was unemployed for about 6 months, which normally is pretty stressful, but I'm pretty dead inside emotionally, so pretty well. And then one of my friends said that, that her lab in the neuroscience department needed a Linux systems administrator, and I use Linux, as you can tell from my body type. And I'm a pretty softcore Linux user, though, which means that I like looking at a computer without its graphical user interface, but I don't want to watch the system calls actually enter the kernel. But it was a group that studies pain, and I shared an office with a guy who operates the pain machine. And they do a lot of really interesting work. Like, one of my favorite studies, this is really heartwarming, is they find that if you're holding your romantic partner's hand while they hurt you, right? That your subjective rating of the amount of pain you're in goes down, but also the pain processing parts of your brain receive less activation, right? So you really are experiencing less pain if you're holding your romantic partner's hand, which I thought, oh, that's adorable, right? And then one of my coworkers was like, does this work in reverse? And they found people who weren't over their exes, and then they got pictures of those exes, and then they had thought of a mean thing to say, and I don't know what it is, but it was psychologists who study pain spending a week racking their brains working on it. And then what they do is they put you in the machine, right? You're in an fMRI, right? They're looking at brain activation. So they put you in the machine, they show you a picture of your ex, they show you the mean thing that they said your ex said about you, and then they turn on the pain machine, and it turns out people really hate that. But also it does make the pain worse, right? It hurts more. It hurts more to have that shown to you. We have a pain machine that burns you, and another pain machine that pinches you. Other groups have other pain machines. There's a group in Nevada that studies irritable bowel syndrome that has a little balloon, and they put it in your butt, and then they inflate it to painfully distend your anus. And they put you in the scanner on a scale of 1 to 10, how butthurt are you? And then they send that data to me, right, where organizing it is a huge pain in the ass. And there's another group in California, I think, that has a similar balloon to study vaginal pain. And, I like to talk about my job, and when women say they want someone who understands their pain, they don't mean on an abstract mathematical level. Oh, it hurts. Yeah, I know, it hurts this much. And the machines are really expensive. They cost, I think the cheapest one is like $10,000, and the most expensive one is on the order of like $180,000. And it's because they're safe. You walk out of the room without a scratch on you. There's no permanent damage. But, you know, it's important because people, you hear it's expensive. Everyone always thinks that you're trying to waste money. And it's like, no, I mean, the money is for safety. I could burn you, pinch you, and shove a balloon up your ass for less than like 200 grand. Like, it's not. But anyway, like I'm not really like, I mean, I'm just a sysadmin, right? But I'm there. So they're like, oh, I bet Dan will spend a day in the pain machine if we buy him a sandwich. And I will. And, you know, you go in and it's not that bad, right? I mean, it hurts a lot, obviously. But and just I'm going to end this on sort of a serious note. We do need subjects, especially if you have, no, I mean this, if you want to spend a day in the pain machine. Chronic pain is a serious problem in our society, and part of the reason it's not well treated is it's not well understood. So especially if you have chronic lower back pain, which we're looking for subjects right now for especially, but really anyone, even if you're completely healthy. You can send an email to can lab studies, can like the can of food, lab, laboratory, lab studies at gmail.com. It'll send you an automated reply with a list of all of the ongoing studies, and it'll send you to the screening survey. So yeah, just send that email, and we'd love to hurt you. Okay. Bye.